should Prince Andrew be made to face MPs over this question about the rent at Royal Lodge? 02078622222. So we've learnt this week that for more than 20 years, the Prince has only paid a so-called peppercorn, i.e. tiny rent, to live in the 30-room mansion in Windsor. There it is. And the Prime Minister now appears to have backed calls for him to give evidence to MPs in Parliament. The leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey, raised this in Parliament yesterday.
Given the revelations about Royal Lodge, does the Prime Minister agree that this House needs to properly scrutinise the Crown Estate to ensure taxpayers' interests are protected? The Chancellor herself has said that the current arrangements are wrong. So will the Prime Minister support a select committee inquiry so all those involved can be called for evidence, including the current occupant?
Prime Minister.
Well, it's important in relation to all properties, Crown properties, that there is proper scrutiny. I certainly support that.
That's about as much as he can say without getting into sort of the dangerous constitutional thing of calling out the royal family. But that's, although it sounded pretty coded, Kevin, that breaks a boundary really in a way, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, because the royals are very rarely discussed or raised in Parliament. The Speakers of the House of Commons, the House of Lords normally come down heavily on it unless you're fawning and paying tributes. You're not allowed to question the monarchy. Some MPs have put down a motion calling for Andrew to be stripped of his Duke of York title. That won't get anywhere. The York MP wants the law changed with the bill. I don't think that'll get anywhere.
But it's sort of gone anyway,
it's a moment, though. But we're in the 21st century. We should scrutinise the expenditure of public finances fully, because the Crown Estate is owned by us. There's been a sweetheart deal agreed. Andrew did, in fairness, balance, agree to pay £1 million up front and £7.5 million on refurbishment.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, but the rent for the place now, if they were renting out commercially to bring in money, which could be used for public services, would be astronomical.
What do you think, £2 million a year? Roughly?
Yes, that's.
What do you think about this? Yes, we should say he has paid £8 million up front.
And the estimated value when he paid that was that it was worth about £6 million as a property in the state it was. So in one sense, you could argue that he's paid for it. I think he is a despicable sounding person who hasn't been convicted of anything, but clearly has an awful lot of very unpleasant questions to answer. However, the Crown Estate is not owned by the public. It is, in fact, owned by the King.
We control it.
No, it is a private company. It is a private company that surrenders all its profits to the Treasury.
It goes back to
It pays effectively 100% tax. But
you've got Kevin. Obviously, you think the Parliament is sovereign here. You think?
Mad George III was bankrupt, so he handed over land for the state to control, and then he would get money from it. They get the sovereign grant through it.
Okay,
that's changed more recently. But the Crown Estate is run by the commissioners who make these decisions, and will have written, and what I have read in the press is a watertight contract 20 years ago.
This is completely irrelevant, isn't it? He's gone. He's gone from that.
I'm afraid
he's gone from the Royal Lodge. He's not going to stay there. I guarantee he'll be out by Christmas.
He should do the right thing and move.
Yeah. But
I don't think we should start breaking contract law.
I mean, I think the contracts are the least of it. Hang on,
Parliament is sovereign. You change what's agreed. We elect government. It's called democracy. If you've given somebody a sweetheart deal and you find out they're a real bad un, as you know, you can say, hang on, you're not having that deal anymore.
I bet there's a good character clause in that deal, in that tenancy.
If there is, that would get them out. Yeah. The Crown Commissioners should and can look at this.
Okay,
from their own commercial interest.
Understood. Caroline in Lancashire, thank you. This is all about Keir Starmer doing this really interesting answer where it suggests that actually we may see Andrew called before a committee of Parliament. What do you think, Caroline?
Well, that would make me happy. It's already been said by Ed Davey and Kevin today that the money from the Crown Estate does go to the Treasury, which pays for our schools, hospitals, armed forces, etc. So if he's not paying rent, then the taxpayer are paying the rent for him in effect.
Yeah, but Annunziata's point is he paid £8 million up front as a repair cost. The property was worth about £6 million. So in a funny way, he almost gave us more than we deserved for it.
that puts me in mind. I don't know why, but it makes me think of Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell lived in a place called Headington Hill Hall, and it was the same in Oxford. It was the same arrangement. He paid money to refurb that house and was allowed to live in it for the same peppercorn rent.
Oh, right.
I also looked online last night at a letter that was printed in The Guardian some time ago now, when King Charles was still Prince Charles, and in support of his friend, Bishop Peter Ball, who was convicted and sent to prison for child abuse.
Yeah,
there's a letter you can still read online in The Guardian that Prince Charles wrote and said he hoped that the duchy would be able to find somewhere for Peter Ball and his twin brother to live. And I think, what is it with all these dodgy geezers who are allowed to live in these luxury surroundings and homes? Are they any different to people we accuse of
maybe they don't have the same laws.
They're just the same.
Yeah, okay, Caroline, it's a good point. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail. So this thing of nobody ever goes to jail. Weinstein's in jail, Ghislaine's in jail, Epstein is dead. And, the FBI might start to say to Andrew, we need some questions answered here, mate. Kathy in Cheshire, hello.
Hello. This is getting like a persecution. Should Prince Andrew face MPs? No. I think the rest of us need to question about our spotless lives, should we? I know men who've travelled out to Thailand and been quite open about what's gone on.
Really?
Now, how does this differ
from
from what Prince Andrew has done?
Do you mean I don't know anyone like that?
I'm talking about everyday people, and they've done this. Now, Edward and Anne have both been given a mansion by our late Queen, and Andrew given a mansion as well. That was the system. They are the prince. It's only it won't be for his,
children,
Beatrice and all these others. It stops after them.
I hear. The thrust of your argument is that we cannot let daylight in on magic. That the royal family only exist if you shield them. And actually, I mean, I don't agree. If you know people who've been to Thailand to abuse young children, you should go to the police. But the broader point about the royal family might be true. Actually, we have to draw the curtains on them.
I think it is. Warts and all. When you see them, it ceases to be special. Why do we put the same family on a pedestal, treat them with kid gloves, lots of deference, and no accountability?
I think lots of people
I'm not making that point.
Lots of people respect them far more when the warts are on show. And if you look at Princess Catherine's, Princess of Wales, is cancer. The King's cancer. If you look right the way back,
that's not a wart. No.
Right, but having light on what they're doing. But also, if you look back to Charles and Diana, the divorce, I think the honesty does help them. I think Andrew is inexplicably awful. But does that mean we should break British law?
All right. Well, the issue was about whether he should speak at this committee and be called in by MPs, and he may well be. After the break, it's the papers and everything else, including why Gen Z are having... do we say Gen Z or Gen Z? I never know. Are having to use AI chatbots to help them talk to their colleagues. See you shortly.